In today's video, Katie Porter and her campaign for California governor has completely nosedived. And secondly, Democrats are now showing up at the ICE detention facility in Chicago and humiliating themselves. And finally, Clown Lemon gave an interview and was hit with the brutal truth. And all these stories will show you what both sides are saying and then give you the bottom line.
The Katie Porter snappings, they have been heard around the world. And I think that Katie Porter's making history because she has potentially annihilated her chances to be the next governor of California, more so than any other candidate I've ever seen so quickly. My goodness gracious, what are we talking about right here? Well, let's take a look. Chance to be the next California governor. According to the Kalshi prediction market, Katie Porter's chances have fallen through the floor. Just 2 days ago, she was the plurality leader in the prediction markets at 40%. Now, get this, her chance has fallen by more than half to just 16%. My goodness gracious. Meanwhile, Alex Padilla, who's not even running for governor of California at this point, he's a sitting senator from that state, his chances have gone up through the roof from 10% all the way to 27%, nearly gone up threefold. Now, one of the big reasons why the prediction markets have moved so much on Katie Porter's chances to be the next governor of California is because people are really interested in this story. Take a look here. Google searches for Katie Porter at an all-time high, despite Katie Porter having a long political career. Get this, up over 10,000% versus just a week ago. And not so surprisingly, the top topic searched alongside Katie Porter at this point, interview. It turns out maybe you shouldn't snap at a local political reporter.
Yeah, I think that comes with the territory of running for office, right? That's something you probably shouldn't do. But more importantly, he was referencing the prediction markets from Kalshi. I want to reference the prediction markets from Polymarket because at this point, if you're looking at the data, her chances have significantly dropped. And that's a good thing for California. Now, obviously, if Alex Padilla becomes the governor, I mean, California still is going to be in trouble. But again, according to Polymarket, Alex Padilla is currently at 38%, and she is sitting at 15%. So 15 on Polymarket, 16 on Kalshi. And I think we know why that is, because this happens to be a story politically that is not going away. And so she should just come out, face the music regarding this, accept whatever the consequences may be, instead of trying to ignore and gaslight her way through this, which we know the media has been attempting to do.
But I'll tell you who else can't get enough of the Katie Porter story besides just the voters out in California and the people in the United States at large. It's Fox News. Fox News, if you have tuned in over the last 2 days, and you tune in a particular hour, there's a pretty good chance you're going to see Katie Porter. I mean, look at all of these segments that Fox News has been doing. Indeed, I looked it up. There have been segments featuring Katie Porter, get this, over 20 times, 20 plus times over just the last 2 days alone. Fox News can't get enough of her.
Well, let's be honest. It's not just Fox News talking about this. It's all conservatives talking about this. Even CNN's talking about it. I'm talking about it. And it's for good reason. The people of California should know about this, which is why I have Ground News here on the screen for us. Now, if you guys don't know, Ground News is a tool that helps you see the full picture of stories that are being reported in the media, even stories that are going underreported, like this one on a particular side of the political spectrum. And what does that really look like? Well, let me show you. According to Ground News, only 18% of left-leaning sources are talking about Katie Porter and how her campaign is literally nosediving in front of our eyes. And 64% of sources that lean right are discussing this, which is why you hear me talking about it now. Because again, the people need to know. The voters should have access to this information. Now, on that point that Harry Enton made about Fox News, here is a clip of them this morning talking about Katie Porter. Take a listen.
Get out of my shot. Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
Katie,
out of my shot.
Now, if we were going to make being nice and kind to your staff, right, a requisite for political office, I mean,
there may not be a lot of people on Capitol Hill.
Correct. We might be shut down for a lot longer, i.e. forever, to be fair.
It certainly is not necessarily something that people are going to vote on if they're worried about California high prices, the aftermath of the Palisades fire, not being able to build, et cetera, illegal immigration. But it's certainly a soft spot for her. And you have candidates like Steve Hilton, Republican, who has said she may be the most popular Democrat in the race, but she's not winning the race overall. He sees an opening here.
Well, there is definitely an opening, especially if you're reading the bullet points here on Ground News. You guys know I like to give the bottom line to it, to all these stories that we talk about. And so does Ground News. Right here, the fourth one down. Polls show Porter, who once led, is now trailing Republican candidate Steve Hilton by 6 points after recent controversies have emerged. Makes sense to me. Steve Hilton is a good guy. I think he has a good chance. I'm not saying he's going to win. But California's been through a lot. People ask me all the time, do they believe there will be a Republican governor? I'm still not convinced, but Katie Porter and the rest of the Democrat Party, they're really making it interesting, to say the least. And what's more interesting is Ground News, because as you guys know, if you want to do your own research, see what both sides are saying or what one side is saying and not the other, this tool is going to help you do that. And it's what we use to produce this show. So I encourage you guys to use it for yourself. So if you want to use this tool for yourself, all you have to do is go to ground.news/Devori, or you can download the mobile app. Just use promo code Devori, and it's going to give you access to everything that I showed you in this video, including 40% off the Vantage plan.
Maybe she's actually an improving California, are you really going to look at that face in your television screen for the next 4 years and tolerate this behavior? Do better. You got millions upon millions of people.
Scott, I think the question, one of the questions, though, for you, I mean, not so much for other people who don't like this behavior, but for you, you comfortable with that treatment of reporters from Trump, but not from Katie Porter?
I don't care what Katie Porter does to reporters. I thought it was legitimate questions, and any legitimate candidate for governor, especially in a state that size, ought to have a better answer.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know where Abby Phillips was going with that, but I will tell you this. The issue is not that she snapped at the reporter and wanted to walk off the set, or that she screams at her staffers. The issue is it shows you how she deals with stress, okay? And when no one's watching, how she deals with what we call integrity, right? You say it in the military, integrity is, are you doing the right thing when nobody's watching? Those are the issues. And when you're asking to be the governor of probably 60 million people, not 44 if you're counting illegals, yeah, we're going to need somebody much more mentally tough than that. Or California will need. I know we just moved, so cut me a break, right? And I think that is just the bottom line to this entire story. Now, that takes us to our next one. And this is an update regarding ICE detention facilities. They're still under attack. But according to Democrats, it's ICE officers that are attacking neighborhoods. Take a listen.
It's not appropriate to militarize our cities. It is not appropriate to activate National Guard troops and send them into our cities. Our National Guard men and women are doing a fantastic job. But you know what? They sign up to be tank drivers. They should be practicing driving tanks. They should be practicing to defend America against our enemies around the world. And that's what they would rather be doing. So what I've been saying to protesters, to people of Chicago, be kind to the guardsmen and women. They're here against their will. They're here because they were activated to come here. Maintain your protest. Say what you need to say. Do it peacefully. But I condemn what is happening with ICE, the work that they're doing, snatching people off the streets, shooting priests in the head who were guilty simply of a crime of praying, throwing smoke grenades in front of elementary schools. This is not America. This is not what this democracy is about. We just want to go in and look at this facility and see what the conditions are, and they will not let us in. It is shameful. You don't run and hide if you're proud of what you're doing. That's what ICE is doing right now.
Well, there is so much to say to someone like her. She is a veteran herself, and in my opinion, a disgusting politician. I will not degrade her service, but I will degrade her credibility as a politician. She is just unhinged at best. Okay, let's just say that. And again, what makes me a little upset here is because she served in the military, she should know better when it comes to talking about National Guard troops. National Guard troops' job is not to drive trucks all day. National Guard troops is always to be training to protect the homeland first. That's why National Guard troops exist. Why? Because they are military-wise the first responders to emergencies. Well, I guess depending on how you frame what's happening in ICE detention facilities, one could call it an emergency. And they are trained in riot control. Don't let these people gaslight you, okay? I know some of these politicians make you think like the guard, they're worthless and they have nothing better to do. No, these guardsmen, these military soldiers, Army veterans, by the way, they're happy about all this. Why? Because they're getting paid, ladies and gentlemen. They are not doing this for free. And if this is going to help them feed their families, they're going to be happy to do it because they know they're serving their country. They're not there against their will. They know what they signed up for. But that's how they like to flip it and manipulate the audience. Now, here's Adam Crybaby Kinzinger and his unhinged meltdown about ICE officers. Take a listen.
And then you deport them and you piss all over them so that you look tough on social media? Because somehow it makes you feel strong because you never served in the military, all these ICE agents, and you think that you know you were a coward, and now you have a chance to go out and look tough, so you're going to grab a child and put him in a zip tie? You're going to take a mom away in front of her kids and feel real tough doing that? Strength is not beating up, punching down on people less fortunate than you. That just makes you a piece of shit. Period.
Well, excuse my French. What makes someone also a piece of shit is someone like Adam Kinzinger, who believes it's appropriate to continue to attack and incite violence against ICE officers. That's just the honest truth. ICE officers are doing exactly what's in their constitutional duty. If Adam Kinzinger and the rest of them had such a problem with illegal immigration, they should have done something about it when they had power, when Biden was the president, but they refused to do nothing. They sat on their hands and they created this crisis. Now they're so upset that the president is trying to deal with the crisis and solve it. Get out of here with that. And more importantly, these ICE officers aren't trying to look tough. These people are putting their lives on the line. They're being threatened. They're being doxxed. They're being followed home. What are you talking about? So I guess when a police officer does the same thing, right, where they separate a parent from a child, where they may get into an altercation or a fight with an American citizen, they're also scum, according to Adam Kinzinger, according to his logic. Yeah, he is a complete joke. Okay, now here is Antifa terrorist caught on audio recording threatening to kill or hurt the families of law enforcement who are involved in all of this. Take a listen.
Hi, I'm just calling to say, assuming you're married to and with a last name like that, I don't know how you let your husband work for ICE and you sleep at night. You, your family. I hope your kids get deported by accident. How do you sleep? You. Did you hear what happened to the Nazis after World War II? Because that's what's going to happen to your family.
The party of violence, ladies and gentlemen, have arrived, and it's in full force. They are no longer holding back. They are empowering their base to double down on this rhetoric, and they don't think anything of it. You know why they don't? Is because they have justified it based on their hatred of President Trump. That's why. All in the name of hating President Trump, everything is on the table, even if it's against the law, even if it becomes a bigger problem than the problem they continue to try to gaslight people regarding President Trump. They think he's a bigger problem. That's so far from the truth. It's their reaction to what's happening is the true problem. It's a life lesson. It's not the situation that hurts you. It's your reaction to the situation that's going to hurt you. And that's what we're continuing to see at these ICE detention facilities. ICE detention facilities. So just imagine, as I show you this next clip, what their reaction is going to be, because word is getting out that the appeals court, 7th Circuit, is already seeking or already indicating that they may side with the Trump administration on this one. Take a listen.
Late last night, the operation was hit with another loss in the courts when a different federal judge sided with the village of Broadview and ordered that the fence surrounding the ICE facility that's built on city property must be taken down. Despite these recent rulings, there is reason for the administration to feel optimistic, because last night an appeals court panel in Oregon suggested that it is likely to side with the administration and overturn a judge's ruling blocking the deployment of the National Guard to Portland. Of course, the hope is that an appeals court judge will be doing the same thing here in Chicago for the administration.
Well, I guess we better cross our fingers, because you never know with these judges, including ones that serve at the appellate court level. Well, when it comes to the appeals court, you still have to hold your breath, because honestly, we cannot assume that they will side with the president. But according to what you just heard, there are indications that might happen, because they were already skeptical of the authority that this lower court judge exercised in blocking the president. When in this country is it decided upon that lower court judges can stop a president from his executive orders? I don't know that. I'm not aware of that. But that's what we have at this moment. Now, let's go to this next clip, because this is Fox News also reacting to Tammy Duckworth's delusional statement, and they actually made a great point. Take a listen.
You heard Senator Tammy Duckworth there talking about the amazing work that the state and local police have been doing in terms of controlling these protests. And while that is true and it has made a significant difference, it is important to note that they only got here a week ago. The 4 or 5 weeks before that happened, it was the federal agents who were on their own in terms of securing this facility and trying to allow federal agents to move in and out of it. Today, though, we have seen 4 arrests so far, and the state police, who are now doing crowd control here, are not playing around. I want to show you this video from this morning where you can see police officers pulling several protesters out from the crowd and dragging them across the road before arresting them. This was after they had warned protesters to stay out of the road and not to try to block federal vehicles from getting in and out of ICE's facilities here. But the fact that state police have been so aggressive in handling these crowds over the past week, that is in part why yesterday a federal judge blocked the National Guard from being deployed. Judge April Perry, a Biden appointee, told Justice Department attorneys, quote, "I have seen no credible evidence that there is danger of rebellion in the state of Illinois." The Trump administration is appealing that decision, but for now, the 200 Texas National Guard troops who are already in the state are on standby while the appeals process plays out.
Yeah, this whole situation is chaotic, okay? Because you have people who have been misled by their political leaders into thinking that ICE officers are the problem, and they're not. Into thinking that tolerating criminal illegal aliens is okay because they all deserve justice or due process. No, your due process was up when you entered the country illegally, and when we catch you, you're getting deported. That's your due process. Now, I know there's some people out there that will still argue against that. And then I argue back and say there's no way in our world, in the way that the U.S. Constitution is constructed, how a criminal illegal alien has more rights or just as much rights as an American citizen in our country. I just don't see how that's possible. But if you are a Democrat, raging liberal, or progressive, you actually believe they probably have more rights than American citizens, because all you have to do is look at their behavior. Now, what's interesting is Clown Lemon, who you guys know, I only show him every time he makes a fool of himself, not his hatred comments. I don't really like to see that stuff. It's too toxic. He's on the ground there in front of Broadview ICE detention facility. And as usual, he always finds a way to interview people that say exactly what he does not want to hear. Take a look.
What do you think when you see all this happening?
What do I think? I think that it's inexcusable. I think people that are coming here that are showing violence, are showing hatred, intolerance, people that are blocking vehicles and damaging vehicles and throwing bottles at vehicles and throwing fireworks. And
hold on one second. Show that. This is what happening now. When the vans come in, it is believed that the vans are carrying, most of the time they're carrying people that they have picked up, detainees. And so these people are ticked off. Now, I'm speaking to a resident now who you're not happy with these protesters, right?
I'm not, most definitely not. I think what we see here today with the state police and the Cook County Sheriff's presence is showing a show of force to keep them off the road.
Can you go ahead? Because I want them to see that. Just turn around.
Okay.
So it's easy to talk to you. You said that what?
They're showing, so you have the Cook County Sheriff's, Illinois State Police, Broadview Police, and other local jurisdictions. And earlier, I don't think you were here quite for this, but they had locked arms, the protesters, and they attempted to block traffic, and for no reason. And they're not blocking, so they gave you a right to free speech. They gave you a right to all that. But what you don't have the right to do is to threaten violent acts. I've been here and I've seen death threats threatened on the ICE agents. I've seen people threaten to abduct them, kidnap them, hurt them, kill them, and that's unacceptable. We live in America. We have First Amendment right, freedom of speech, regardless of what your political opinion is. But what you don't have is the right to insert and put political violence on somebody.
Now, look at that. Someone who has common sense. I do not disagree with people protesting what's happening at these ICE detention facilities. What I do disagree with, like you just heard in that interview, is when they get violent and they start to obstruct ICE officers from doing their jobs. Yeah, that's when you've gone too far and you become disruptive to even the local neighborhood. And then it gets worse when the police department refuses to respond. It's fascinating. And then you're following these people throughout the city, driving with your vehicle to ram them off the road. I mean, that's when you've gone too far, and you should be held accountable for that. Get a life. I can't believe this is what people think about when they wake up in the morning, and this is what they're seeking to do. Get into altercations with federal authorities. Just doesn't make any sense. And these are people who are emotionally out of control.
I agree with you 100%. But also, even if you're a citizen or not, you have the right to due process. You understand why these people are protesting, but you don't agree with some of the tactics that they're using?
I understand why they're protesting, but I also wouldn't say I necessarily agree with all their message. I think us as a
That's
country,
what I just said. You don't agree with some of the tactics that they're
No, but not even just the tactics, just like the crux of the actual message of the protest itself. Because us as a country, we lock our doors to our cars, we lock our doors to our houses, we vet who comes into our house, we vet who comes into our car. We want to feel comfortable who comes in our house and our car, because that's our property. It's the same with our bank account information. We don't just walk around, here's my checking number, here's my routing number, and give anybody access to your bank account, because it's your property. You want to feel comfortable with who has access to your property, and it's America's property, and we should vet who comes into our country.
Yeah, someone needs to get him his own show, because everything he said there was facts, and it's something that Don Lemon has lost touch of, and same thing with mainstream media. They just think it's okay for people to cross the border illegally and commit crimes. And they think the problem is that President Trump is trying to get those people out of our country. And you may disagree with how he goes about doing it, but you can't disagree with the premise of it all. We have to be a nation of borders. We can disagree with the premise of what Democrats are arguing. They're arguing that it's okay. Just let it all go. No, that's not going to work. We need law and order. Heaven's first law is order, okay? Everything runs based on order. The universe works on order. Everything works at a precise, or works in a precise way. And to just manufacture chaos and allow things to happen and not actually take care of this great country and let the criminals roam free, yeah, that's a huge mistake. And that's why I want to hear your guys' reaction in the comments section below to these stories throughout this video today. Let's start with Katie Porter. You saw how her chances have nosedived, basically. Her campaign is almost finished. But I still hold the belief that it still will be a Democrat governor. Now, you let me know, where are you at? Do you believe California will have a Democrat governor or a Republican governor? Just put your answer in the comment section. Also, you just saw that interview with Clown Lemon, where he was delivered the brutal truth about these protesters, and what they're doing is just wrong, plain wrong. And when we live in a country where they allow the criminals to roam free, they don't hand them over to ICE, and they continue to embolden these protesters to assault ICE officers, what do you think should happen to the leadership of those cities? Do you think they should be arrested? Just give me all of your thoughts and everything you got in the comment section below. Now, in our next video, as you guys may have heard already, Letitia James has been officially indicted. But you got to see what she did as soon as that indictment came out. It might make you disgusted. So we have that update and more. And if you're interested, all you have to do is click on that video, because it's coming up right now.